Hare Krishna. What is the next?
So the floor is open to asking questions. So if anyone has a question, you can raise your hand. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Today you have a wonderful opportunity to ask any questions you have. The floor is open. You can raise your hands to go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I would like if you could at least start with a small guidance to the youth as to how they can engage in individual capacity and as a group as well in the temple. A lot of them are doing small services. How they can nurture and become systematically a little better also, if you can guide about that.
According to Prahlad Maharaj, how Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5. I think so. I think I got it. Let's see. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 56 and 57. Te tu tad gauravad sarave jakta krida parichada bala adusito diyo Dwandwara merite hitai Pairupa satara jindra Tanyasta hridayak shana Tanaha karuno maitru Maha bhagavato suraya. So purport, translation and purport. My dear King Yudhishthira, all the children were very much affectionate and respectful to Prahlad Maharaj. And because of their tender age, they were not so polluted by the instructions and the actions of their teachers, who were attached to condemned duality and bodily comfort. Thus, the boys surrendered Prahlad Maharaj, giving up their playthings, and sat down to hear him. Their hearts and eyes being fixed upon him, they looked at him with great earnestness. Prahlad Maharaj, although born in a demon family, was an exalted devotee, and he desired their welfare. Thus, he began instructing them about the futility of materialistic life. Papa said in the purport, the word Bala Adushita Dhira indicate that the children, being of a tender age, were not as polluted by materialistic life as their fathers. Prahlad Maharaj, therefore, taking advantage of the innocence of his class friends, began teaching them about the importance of spiritual life and the insignificance of materialistic life. Although the teachers Sanda and America were instructing all the boys in the materialistic life of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, the boys were not much polluted. Therefore, with great attention, they wanted to hear from Prahlad Maharaj about Krishna consciousness. In our Krishna consciousness movement, the Gurukul plays an extremely important part in our activities because right from the childhood, the boys at the Gurukul are instructed about Krishna consciousness. Thus, they become steady within the cause of their hearts. And there is very little possibility that they will be conquered by the moods of material nature when they are older. So when we look at these two verses, it is said here that the boys were not yet polluted. The children are not yet polluted. They are not contaminated by the teachings Sanda and Amarka were teaching them. And they are innocent, means they are open. They are not contaminated yet. So, Prahlad Maharaj took advantage of the children to teach them Christian consciousness. The next chapter 6, the first verse, the famous one, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Sri Prahlad Vachar, Komara acharet pragyo dharmam bhagavata iha durlabam manusham janma tadapi adruvam artadam. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use a human form of body from the very beginning of life. From the very beginning of life. When our consciousness is not yet polluted as much, to begin Christian consciousness. So the children born in Christian consciousness. So Prabhupada said they are devotees who did not complete their Christian consciousness in the past life. So Krishna brought them now to complete it. Means they have the chance of going back to Godhead this lifetime. They have the chance. And it is their responsibility, Prabhupada mentioned the purport, the responsibility of Krishna consciousness to be sure that we give the children this opportunity to perfect their Krishna consciousness and to go back home, back to Godhead. That is the ISKCON's responsibility. Teaching the children Krishna consciousness. It is very important, very, very important. Because what they learn now, if they grow up and become contaminated, it is still very good because they will come back again. At a certain stage, they will come back. Prabhupada gave that example, and himself as an example. He got the training. Later on, he got married, got into business. After that, he came back to it. He came back. For him, there is nothing like going or coming back. He's only fixed. But he demonstrated how a normal person should live your life. He demonstrated that. So, it is not an imposition for us to give Krishna consciousness to our children, right from tender age. It is approved in the scripture. Approve our chariots. And I remember when Srila Prabhupada has to stop one devotee from deity worship. Give up deity worship. Go and take care of your child. Make sure it becomes a devotee. So a woman is called a mother. Of course, these days our women doesn't want to be called a mother. They want to be called Prabhu, which is to me is ignorance. I have my reasoning from the scripture to say that. It's ignorance because The scripture said one is qualified to be called a mother only when her children becomes devotees. So it's our responsibility to train our children right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. We all know about 𝐶𝐻𝐵. 𝐶𝐻𝐵. His mother, while she is breastfeeding the baby is breastfeeding, she's chanting Hare Krishna to the ear of 𝐶𝐻𝐵. Right from this child, right from there. This is how she trained her baby. So he grew up like that to be what he is. That's the training we should give to our children. They didn't leave him to play and do whatever he likes. They gave him Krishna consciousness from the beginning. And we know Prabhupada, the same thing happened. His father will go every day to go and look for sadhu to come to the house. After feeding them, he will ask, bless my child to become a devotee. So don't think that Krishna consciousness is too early. It is not too early. It is right. Right time. And you should consider yourself to be very fortunate because from the beginning you are not exposed to sinful things. You will not be exposed to so many sinful things like some of us did before coming to Krishna consciousness. So it's a great opportunity, and we should take full advantage of that. So you grow in Krishna consciousness, free from sin. I was very angry with one devotee was telling a devotee she should not take seriously to devotional service. She should take seriously to materialistic education. I was very angry. Where did you get this from? Where did you get this from? So the Prabhupada is saying here, you should be trained right from the beginning. Where do you get your own from? It's a failure if we don't train our children right from the beginning in Krishna consciousness. We cannot give them Bhagavad Gita, but they can hear the holy name. They can see how we are practicing in the house. When they grow, we can start encouraging them how to chant. So they are used to it, and they will grow with it like that. It will become a normal thing. All right? Does it make sense?
Some
Okay.
youth can ask questions.
Yes.
Youth, not old people.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Do introduction.
Good start, but
yes.
now youth can ask questions.
Yes, sir.
Maharaj, I wanted to ask you regarding selfishness and devotional greed. How does one differentiate between one and the other? Because devotional greed is something that we all want. We want to do more services. We want more prasad. We want more and more of everything devotional. But when does that become selfish, and when does it stay devotional greed?
Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said greed is one of the gates that will take one to hell. Greed. But Rupa Goswami told us to be greedy. And in 𝐂𝐡𝐴𝐺𝐻𝐵, you see Swarup Damodara Goswami use the word greed. That Krishna became greedy. It's the greed of Krishna that led him to take the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So greed is allowed in our system. that we should be greedy for Krishna consciousness. So what is greed in Krishna consciousness? A spiritual greed, that we are not tired of service. We are not tired of service, not position, but service. We are eager for service. So 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐿 Swami said, for a good servant, whenever there is opportunity for service, he is jubilant and happy to do the service. He's happy. That way we saw in the life of Hanuman and other devotees. They are very, very eager to do service. Not position, but service. The devotees should be eager to serve. At any time, day or night, one is ready to do what is necessary. That's greed you should have. The greed to become Krishna conscious is allowed. It's a spiritual greed. I want to be Krishna conscious. And therefore, whatever it takes for me to attain perfection, to attain pure love for Godhead, if I have to chant 64 rounds, if I have to reduce my eating, if I have to reduce my sleep, I'm ready to do that. That greed is allowed. It's spiritual greed. Not greedy to have position. That is material. Our chariots have proved that. It should be greedy. Strong desire to go back to Godhead. Strong desire to become Krishna conscious, pure devotee. The strong desire to do. That greed is necessary. The pure love of Godhead is not common, it's not easy. It is very rare. Therefore, if it is seen somewhere, we should be ready to pay any price. That is greed. We should be ready to pay any price. We should be so greedy that we don't have any spare time in our lives. There's no spare time. We don't have any empty space that we have nothing to do, which Maya will take advantage on that. That's how greedy a devotee should be. No space. Completely engaged. Planning our Krishna consciousness. How to become successful. How to expand the Krishna consciousness. Constantly. That greed is necessary.
In all, the question is, in all religious, spiritual path, we see that we have to perform some austerity in order to attain God, or you have to punish your body at some point, at some point. So, what is the relation? Why do we have to do this so that you can know God? Why do we have to endure pain to know God?
Why you have to do austerity to know God?
Yes, why is it important? Why is it so much emphasis in all religious issues?
Yes, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 text 5. 18:5. Lord Krishna mentioned austerity, charity, and penance. They should not be given up. They should be performed. Why? because they purify even sages. So we are doing them because it is for purification. That is why it is different from starvation. Starvation means you have nothing to eat, so you have no alternative. Austerity does not mean starvation. Austerity means all the facility for selling gratification is available, but one voluntarily gives them up because we are looking for something higher. So that is the price you have to pay to get something higher, to get purified. It is compulsory. And because it is a bona fide part, all the scriptures recommend that. All the religious organizations recommend that. Because it is a process of purification. Our life is full of contaminations because of our contact with material energy, material nature. So we need to be purified. That process of purification is called austerity. It is necessary. That is why you see many devotees, they follow that. And when you look at our scripture very carefully, all the kings who have made it, they all perform austerity. The only king who didn't perform austerity and got his position was King Vena, and we know what happened to him. He was killed. There's no austerity in his life. He just got his position without austerity. He was a demon. He was killed. But all other kings, they performed austerity in their position. They were successful. It is compulsory to do austerity because it purifies. The Christian specifically mentioned even sages, they get purified from austerity. Therefore, it shouldn't be given up. It should be performed.
And on my second question, you see some of us are students. And how can you balance between studies and the practice? Because you see, to study for exams, it's difficult sometimes. Also, even for scriptures, you see, it's not easy to study. So, how can you maintain your practice while practicing?
In the school, we have religion. We have religious study, right? Which is a subject. It's a subject. Like you have other mathematics, English, physics, math, chemistry, and others. So your religion is one of the subjects which you have to study. So just add it to the subject you have to study. Just add Christian consciousness into that. This is the thing, the activities I have to do every day in my life. So my religion is part of my subject. So as you have a timetable, on Tuesday, from this time to this time, I have this. From this time to this time, I have this. So also, we have this time for my Christian consciousness. You get up early, do some japa, do some reading, then we'll go to the normal school and do the study. Study Christian consciousness the same way we are studying other subjects. We'll grow with it. That's a recommendation from Bhakti Notakora. As we are doing our material activities, we should also do the same with our spiritual activities. So we grow with it. We don't have to neglect either. We should become so Krishna conscious that we forget our material study. Of course, if we do that, there's no loss. It's only gain. But because we don't have a strong faith, we don't have strong faith, and we don't have also full conviction that Krishna is all and all for me. Therefore, material education is necessary because it is a support. But we shouldn't practice that at the expense of our spiritual life. We should do it along with our spiritual life. Don't make it separate. Add it as one of the subjects you have to study in your school. Does it make sense? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question in regards to what you was also asking. Do you think it's necessary, or would you advocate for someone to bring up their children using homeschooling and studying the Vedic scriptures rather than going to the normal schooling system that has been put in place?
In the first canto of Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, and also in the lectures, that our schools today is, or they are, slaughterhouses. Animal that is taken to a slaughterhouse, is for what? Huh? So when we send our children to a slaughterhouse, what will they do there? They become pure devotees? Their Krishna consciousness is going to be destroyed. One day, His Holiness Radha Maharaj, some years ago, 2004, they started a Gopal garden. Why they started? Because the children were going to school. The parent, they were trying to give them Krishna consciousness in a house. But the children would spend longer hours in the school, learning something opposite to devotional service. So when they come into the house, what do you think they would do? They were singing funny songs. They didn't learn it from the parent, they learned that from the school. And I know in some places these days, universities are places where people are becoming occultists. They're getting that from school. And in Chopati, a lot of the drama, they will show how the children learn how to drink, how to smoke, how to do all kinds of sinful activities from the school, not from the house. So Maharaj asked his parent, do you want your children to be like this? They said no, so do something. So they started the Gopal Garden School, opposite slaughterhouse, or slaughterhouses. So homeschooling is very good. Very good. The children I have seen from homeschooling, they are very good. The children I have seen from homeschooling, they are very, very good. Decent and disciplined children. I have seen many children, they are very, very good. All over the places I have seen. Yes, so homeschooling is not bad. Very, very good. I have seen some devotees who are graduates from homeschooling. They graduate today. They were trained in a house. When they sat for the public school, they got their degrees. You cannot abuse your own child in the house. You cannot abuse your own child. Another person can abuse your child, but you cannot do that for your own child in the house. So it's a powerful protection for our children if they are trained in the house, properly trained in the house. When I was in Pune, the ashram, we have to pass through the school. So one day I was passing in the afternoon, and the head teacher says she was speaking with me. And after that, she asked me, please, can you tell me something to help me in my service in the school? I said, yes, Mataji, don't teach these children for money. I should not get salary? I said, no, I'm not talking of not getting salary. You should get their salary, but don't teach them because of the salary. Teach them because you want their life, the success in their life. You want their life to be better. That should be the mood, the reason why you are teaching them. Not because the money you are getting, it's because you have their interest in your mind. So you are teaching them for that purpose. If you teach with money, it's a different consciousness. If you are teaching because you love them, it's a different consciousness. They're not the same. So I told her that, please, teach these children not because of money you are getting. Teach them because you love them, you care for them, you want their future to be bright. But I will not go to tell other schools like that, because they're not going to ask me that question. They will not ask me. But for devotees, yeah, we can tell them this. So our children are the future of this movement. So if you want to know the future of ISKCON, look at our children. That is how wonderful Krishna consciousness is. Look at our children. That is our future. The future of this movement is the children. Look at them, and you can know the future. After all of us leave this body, who is going to continue? Who will continue the movement? The children now. The children, they are going to continue the movement. If they are not Krishna conscious, how would they sustain the potency? How would they maintain the potency of this movement? So they are our asset. They are our future. Therefore, it's our duty to train them properly, to give attention to them, make sure we help them to become Krishna conscious. If you don't make them Krishna conscious, we don't have future. I don't know if we understand the significance of training our children, make them Krishna conscious before we leave the body. It matters a lot if they are devotees. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
I have a second question. It's a more personal question, but I just ask it because I feel it applies to most of my colleagues. So we find that for me myself, I've been brought up in a Christian background, and sometimes it becomes difficult to try and explain to your relatives that you're practicing Krishna consciousness, and sometimes they take it negatively. So how should we deal with that issue, and what's your experience in that?
If the parent can understand then you can explain to them. If they cannot understand, don't waste your time to explain to them. Just practice your Krishna consciousness. When you become a pure devotee, they will understand. But now they may not understand you. But when you become pure devotee, they will understand because they will benefit from that. If they cannot understand you, what is the use of speaking to them? Don't waste your time. Just practice. The first day I met His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj, the first day I met him, so he told me, move to the temple. I said, okay, I will go and inform my uncle that I'm going to move to the temple. So he looked at me. How old is your body? I said, 25. He laughed very seriously and looked at me. You are 25 years and you want to go and tell your uncle. Jesus was 5 years. He didn't tell the parent. I was ashamed when he told me that. 5 to 25. Jesus is 5 and I was 25. Who is older? I was older than Jesus. And I'm going to go and take permission from the uncle. Will he allow? No, he will not. He told me that is not the right thing for you to do. Move to the temple. That's okay. If you do like that, if you want to succeed, you do like that. You can talk to people only if they can understand. If they cannot understand, what is the use talking to them? You will simply make them become offensive. And that will affect you also. Therefore, leave them as they are, take to your Krishna consciousness. I have one boy, is small boy, very small boy. The parents against the practice. The boy very intelligently avoid letting the parent to know what he is doing, but he is chanting every day 16 rounds. It's a small boy. The parent does not know that the son is in the house. He's chanting 16 rounds. It's a small boy. Who gave him that intelligence? Krishna gave him intelligence because he knows he's interested in him. Krishna gave him intelligence. So Krishna will give us intelligence if we are ready for Krishna. He will give us intelligence how to go about our Krishna consciousness. He's in the heart, so he knows us. He knows what we want. And people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness because of their parent, it is not their parent that is the problem. It is they themselves who are the problems, not the parent. Parents cannot stop us from practice. It is we ourselves who are not serious to practice. All right? Yes?
My question, Maharaj. Maharaj, my question is in regard to initiation as a youth. We often encounter or we are in association of many senior devotees who are initiated. As a youth, when do we feel or when do we think is the right time for us to get initiated?
According to the scripture, 5 years. That is in the scripture. 5 years, you can be initiated. Or 18 years, you can be initiated. So how many years? Your body? How old is her body? How old is her body? 24. She are due for initiation a long time back. So take the process seriously and you get initiated. All right. Any other question? All the men are asking, the ladies are silent.
Gurudev, I have questions from anonymous people. They are shy to ask.
Yes.
4 questions.
Hmm.
How can one remain fixed on the path of spiritual life and practices in an environment where the temple is far and there is lack of association for an individual living alone?
The karmis, we call them karmis, but we can learn something from them. For their sense gratification, they can go any distance. It's not true? We call them karmis, non-devotees, but we can learn something from them. Those days, my brahmachari life, when I was taking train in Mumbai. Mumbai in the evening, the train is packed. You can stand on someone's feet. Yes, you can stand on someone's, you have to stand on someone's feet because it's packed, full, shoulder to shoulder, no space. When I was robbed like that, it's different. Because it's packed. You cannot. And I saw someone is using the left hand to hold the rails so you can balance yourself. But the right hand is using to read newspaper. I saw. And those who managed to sit, they are playing card. We say they are karmis, but look at their determination in their sense gratification. They don't have any excuse. They find ways to do what they want to do for their gratification. But devotees are complaining. So many excuses, so many reasons. Look at them. Look at them. So if we are far from the temple, that will not be able to come regularly to the temple, invite devotees to visit you sometimes. So you can have kirtan there, they will speak. I'm sure Mapati Prabhu would like to visit you. You can have kirtan, spend the night there, maybe 2 nights, you know? Yes? And in this way, you hear the Bhagavatam, you hear Bhagavad Gita, you have the kirtan, then it is a festival. Now it's a festival because you have to cook more than normal every day. And then that is festival. That energy will keep you for the next month. Then you can invite Sri Govind Prabhu, Sri Govind Prabhu, and Ruma Prabhu. Many senior devotees say they would like to come and visit. In this way, we can have our Krishna consciousness peacefully. It requires planning. We should plan. We should plan our lives. Is it difficult? To invite somebody to come, say, here, that is the recommendation from Scripture. Householders should invite sadhus to come to the house and have a program. So we hear Bhagavatam. In this way, our attachment to the house will be transferred to Krishna very easily if you do it regularly. And yesterday we were mentioning that So many householders, they invite sadhus to come to the house, but they don't hear because they're very busy cooking. They don't hear the lecture, they don't hear the kirtan. They're busy managing the prasadam they're going to take. It is wrong. We should finish all the things we have to do before the program begins so that we also will participate. I know devotees are very merciful, very kind, so we hold program for others to benefit, but we should also benefit from it. It is not an offense. So we can do that. Invite some devotees to come. And we can also plan on our holidays, go visit the temple and associate with devotees. We cannot become successful in Christian consciousness without association. Association. So we should plan for it, work for it.
Next question. We are taught the art of forgiveness in Krishna consciousness. In the devotee community, there are times things go wrong and sometimes comes in between devotee relationship. We learn how to forgive, but it's so difficult to forget. And you may have to be with the same devotee for your entire life. How to handle this properly? For example, Draupadi forgave Ashwatthama, but was left with the pain of the loss of her children, which is difficult to forget, or the pain of a cheating spouse.
Yes, very good question. We should forgive. We should forgive. But don't forget. Don't forget, but we should forgive. We should not forget does not mean that each time we see the person with you did this to me that day. No. Draupadi forgave, and she will not constantly remembering Ashwatthama negatively. No, she wasn't. Her mind was very clear. That is purity. We should forgive because we have also done so many things to other people that we need them to forgive us. For that reason, we should also forgive others. That's the formula. If we want to be forgiven, we should also forgive others. And it is very dangerous if we don't forgive. Not even for the person who have done the wrong thing to us. It is very dangerous for ourselves because vengeance or grudge or malice is exactly like a person holding fire with your naked hands. And we know very, very well that you cannot be peaceful holding fire. So look very carefully. And people who are not forgiving, they are never happy because they are being burnt by the fire of the grudge they are keeping. You cannot be happy having grudges or malice or maintaining the attitude of vengeance. You cannot be happy because you're holding fire. We shouldn't hold fire with our naked hands because it burns. And we will be miserable, always in anxiety because we are being burned by the fire we are holding. So we must forgive. That is one of the wonderful qualities of a Brahmana. He forgives. And doesn't hold malice. But remember, so that we don't get cheated again the next time. So if we don't forgive, we are going to retaliate one day. So His Holiness Radha Maharaj said, we should forgive all the bad things people have done to us. And we should forget all the good things we have done for others. Does it make sense? We should forgive. Forgive what? All the bad things people did to us. And should forget all the good things we have done for others. Because if you don't forget the good things we have done, you'll be counting. I did this to you. I did this to you. See, 1, 2, 2, 1,000. What did you do? So I'm superior to you. False ego will come inside. And if you don't forgive, we are going to be burnt by fire of grudges that we are holding. It's better for us to forgive the nonsense thing, the bad things people have done, and to forget the good things we have done.
Next question. If we have reached the stage of material frustration and come to the realization that this is not a world for us, how should we properly take advantage of this frustration so we don't become averse or reject responsibilities, but instead utilize the opportunity to advance properly in Krishna consciousness?
Frustration is Krishna's message. Krishna's message. That we are not, that is, that we are frustrated, we are not happy, we are in anxiety, we are feeling lonely, we are feeling insecure. It means we are not doing our homework properly. Because a devotee cannot be frustrated. Prahlad was frustrated. Prahlad Maharaj, he was frustrated. Look at Prahlad Maharaj's life. His father wants to kill him. Was he frustrated? He put him through so many challenges. Haridas was frustrated. Frustration means we are not doing our homework nicely. So Krishna is giving the signal so that we can. So when we have realized that, oh, this is not the right way, then the best thing for us to do is to change. Give it up. It's not working, so you should give it up. And look carefully, Srila Bhakti 𝐸𝐻 said, all of us devotees, we should put on the light in the room of our consciousness. What does it mean? We are not self-introspective. We should be self-introspective. We should look into our life and see, how are we doing our japa? How are we doing our reading? How are we doing our services, which we do for ourselves? Put on the light. We will see. It means you should not look for others, you should look at ourselves. That's what it means. We should look at ourselves and see. If we look at ourselves, we will see so many things that need to be addressed.
Maharaj, you explained Prahlad Maharaj did not feel frustration, Haridas. So that is our topmost part. But here we are asking those who are Kanishta Adhikari, how they should deal with frustration. You explain.
Very good. So Prahlad is very far, is Uttam Bhakta. So yes, I'm coming. Just a minute. I'm coming.
What is the comment of Bhakti Prabhu?
Yes, I'm repeating. I'm repeating
You
now.
must know, Maharaj.
What is Prahlad Maharaj is too far, Harida is too far. For us, neophyte devotees, how do we deal with frustration? Yes, we we have to look ahead and see how did they deal with frustration? How did they handle their frustration? Because they are our leaders, they are in our front, and they are the front for us to see, so we can follow them. How do they deal with their frustration? That is where we will begin our own, dissolving our own frustration. They were very serious in their Christian consciousness. They were very serious in their Christian consciousness. They were very, very forgiving. They are friendly. They don't take offense because they know that we are looking at the instrument and not the cause. We'll be frustrated. What does it mean? If somebody slapped me, the person who slapped me is the instrument. The cause of my slap is who? Myself. So we are looking at others and not looking at ourselves. That is how they got there, where they are, the position where they are now. They got there from this practice. So we have to follow their footsteps. Sato Brite. We follow their footsteps. They were forgiving, they were tolerant, they are patient, they are accommodating. We have to practice that. Why did they succeed with all these qualities? Because they were practicing Krishna consciousness nicely. They are practicing forgiveness. If I want you to forgive me, I have to forgive you also. I should not expect that you should forgive me and not me forgiving. What is so special that you should forgive me and I should not forgive? We should practice that. That's what they followed. That's what they did to get to where they are. Even though they are pure devotees, when they came here, they followed the same way we are following. The same way they followed to get there. Because they want to teach us by showing us example. So they follow this path. Krishna also made a lot of difficulties for them. So they can teach us. And this is how they did to become successful. So we also follow their footsteps. Practice how to forgive others. Practice taking seriously to all the things you're supposed to do in Christian consciousness. They do it nicely. They are very accommodative. They appreciate others. They value each other. I am here today. I'm speaking now because all of you are sitting here. So you are very important in my life. Because I cannot sit here and speak if you're not sitting here. So you're very, very important in my life. For me to do my service to become purified, I needed all of you. That means all of you here are very, very important in my life, and I value all of you. This consciousness we maintain, then you will succeed. We shouldn't put them there and remain here. No, they are there to show us the path. Walk through here to get us, to come to where we are. Because if we don't have somebody in the front to see, we are not going to. How are we going to be convinced? How are we going to be convinced that this path will lead us to the professional stage? Until we see somebody who has followed this path and become successful, then we'll be convinced that yes, I will also become successful like them. Therefore, I should follow the path they followed. So we look up to them and follow them. Okay, there is hope. There's hope there that this person is there through this path. So there's a hope. I can see that somebody is there. So also I will follow. That will help me. It will help all of us. So we should look at our chariots and follow their footsteps. Make sense? Thank you for that good point. Yes?
Last question. We love watching sports and somehow learn things while watching it, like being fair, how to cooperate, not cheating, etc. Will the short time of watching this sport affect our spirituality? Watching football or games?
Oh, watching football. Can you put it on again? Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5. This Narada Muni is speaking. You see what Narada Muni said. There was sport. Canto 1, Chapter 5, 20.
21.
No, it's 29. 29. 1:5:29. Narada Muni is speaking. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I have strong faith in them. I have subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. That is 29. You said 20 what? He specifically mentioned sport. Let me see if I will get it. So he specifically mentioned sports. Even though I was a boy, I was not interested in sport. Yeah, 24. Thank you. Thank you. 24. Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of the Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty, and I did not speak more than required. Sport is not necessary. And sport means that we still have space in our Krishna consciousness, empty space. So we want to cover our frustration through sport. It is a covering of our emptiness. So we should not watch cricket. Football for football. My sport was football and boxing, but I played football for years, even in the movement. But we are not playing. We have removed it because it is not something to. It would help us to develop Krishna consciousness. So we stop it. See, Narada Muni is speaking, he is not interested in sport. He specifically mentioned sport. And some people, they chant watching football or watching cricket. That is very dangerous japa. It's not japa. It is offensive japa. We should not watch television. Devotees who watch television will not have good japa. That is sure. Because the mind is very, very funny. Very funny. This mind. The mind is like when you pour water, dirty water, in a, what do you call it? Drainage. When you pour dirty water there, what happens? As the water is going, some residues will be dropping. They will not go completely. They will be dropping. After some time, it is full. That is how our mind is. Whatever we hear, whatever we see, it will drop some dirt in the mind. And it will accumulate. It is not gross. So we may not see it. But that's what is happening. We will see it when you want to chant japa. The mind will not chant. The mind will go to all the dirty things, the sport. How many football heroes are there? Devotees, they know the names, but ask them the names of our heroes in the scriptures. They will not remember, but they know all the heroes of the sport heroes and the movie stars. These are heavy contaminations. To listen to these people, even people, even subtle than that is to hear from Mayavadis. Very dangerous. How many times Prabhupada has said, we shouldn't hear from professional reciters. Many times Prabhupada used this word. We shouldn't hear from professional reciters. We should hear from the bona fide source. So we are going to discuss the many types of people that hear Bhagavatam. Many types of people who hear Bhagavatam, not only one class. There are many, eight different kinds of people who hear Bhagavatam, who hear lectures in Hare Krishna temple. It's very dangerous. A Krishna conscious person, we mentioned the other day, Krishna consciousness means to be conscious of Krishna all the time. That's what it means. There's no space, time. And that is a sign for one who is making advancement in Krishna consciousness. It becomes very painful for you. For somebody to say something which is not Krishna consciousness, very, very painful. And it's somebody is painting you with a sharp weapon. For one who is making advancement, that's how you feel. For somebody to say something which is not Krishna conscious, you feel miserable. What is this? I should not be here. For us to be comfortable means that we are the same.
Can you explain what is the meaning of professional reciters? Then we can understand.
What is the meaning of professional reciters? Professional.
We can understand. Otherwise, there is no discrimination.
Professional reciters. What is the meaning? Professional reciters and bona fide reciters. Bona fide.
What is the difference?
So what is the difference of that? The difference is that look at, just give an example. What happened to Parishit Maharaj when he had Bhagavatam for 7 days? What happened to him? He became Krishna conscious. That bona fide reciter. And today, when we hear somebody reciting Bhagavatam, what happened to us? Do we become Krishna conscious? That means what? That is, how do you call it? Professional reciter. Why professional reciter? He does not have our interest in his heart. 𝐁𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸𝐴 Goswami has the interest of Mother Parishit in his heart. So he spoke purposely for his benefit, not because of remuneration, something he's going to get from it. If we have any expectation from speaking Bhagavatam, it is not bona fide. If I am speaking out of false ego to show my expertise, my ability, knowledge, that is not bona fide. when one speaks only as service and appropriately as necessary, without misrepresenting our acharyas, that is bona fide. Professional reciter speaks something he does not believe in. But he uses that as a means to live. He's speaking for money. He's speaking for prestige. He's speaking not for Krishna consciousness, not to help you, but to show his ability in learning. So professional reciter, they will address our intellect, our heart, our mind will remain empty. And people who are not qualified hearers, he spoke the same like Prabhupada. I don't like to hear people telling me like that. How did he speak like Prabhupada? Did he just recite the verse? Did he change anyone? Does anyone become transformed? Prabhupada spoke. Only 20 minutes. Proper lecture never go beyond 30 minutes. Look at proper lectures. But he's changed the whole world. Bona fide. The purity is the force. We're speaking 2 hours. What is happening? Huh? We still remain frustrated. Means the speaker is not bona fide. The speaker is bona fide if he can pierce the heart. That's how you know someone who is bona fide. The person touch your heart. If the person touch your heart, if we are not a genuine person, instead of appreciating, we feel angry. But a genuine person will feel happy that the person was able to penetrate my heart. He is bona fide. He pierced my heart. He touched my heart. That is bona fide. That our interest in Krishna will increase. While other people, they just speak and you forget everything. Nothing remained in the head. Because it didn't touch the heart. A bona fide reciter, a speaker will touch the heart and it will remain there. The arrow he used will pierce the heart and get stuck there. You continue to remember Krishna, and the more you remember that word, you get purified. Finish? This one.
Maharaj, in a situation where a family member or a friend was once in Krishna consciousness, and this is someone who is part of you, but this person is like, I can say, backslider. Is a person who is no longer interested. But you are trying to make sure this person comes back. But the person is no longer interested at all in such situation. And this person is a person whom you cannot avoid. It's part of you. So what do we do in such situation? Because it's like this person is pulling you down when you want to be there, but pulls you down with some critics or some
That is
situations of backsliding.
difficult situation. The difficult situation because the person is right with you. And you're going to see the person every day, you're relating with the person every day. Maybe sometimes the person is the one taking care of you. So how will you handle this situation? If we are fortunate to understand what is the goal of Krishna consciousness, what is the goal of Krishna, we are convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're convinced about that. The process of Bhakti is bona fide, and this is the process I have to follow. I have decided in this lifetime, I'm going to follow this path. Whatever the challenges may be, I'm going to follow this path. So it's better for me to keep moving on. And pray to Krishna to help him or her. You pray to Krishna, help him or help her. We continue to pray, but we continue to keep our own practice. Better to lose one person than to lose two. So let us keep our own practice on and not be too much concerned with the person who doesn't want to fall again. Because if we continue and continue, our purity may also help to change the person because of the association. So we should focus on our own practice and become successful. Krishna will help that person because of you. So the best way to help that person is that we should take our own Krishna consciousness very seriously and attain perfection in that, and Krishna will use you to help that person. Instead of trying to focus more attention on the person who is a backslider, and we will also forget ourselves in practice. No, we should focus on our own. It will help that person. All right? Yes, Ravi.
Thank you, Maharaj, Thank you for sharing such wonderful lections. Maharaj, coming back to the topic of bona fide speakers, is it only ISKCON has bona fide speakers, or how do we perceive other speakers?
We have four sampradayas that are bona fide. Four sampradayas are bona fide. So they are bona fide because it's approved. And it is said that out of these four, any other things is outside. They are not bona fide. But these four are bona fide. Why? Because they are connected with Krishna. Although we are connected with Krishna, all the three other sampradayas, they perfected their life by coming to this one. This one. Ramanujacharya came here to this one. This one we are following. Ramanujacharya, he came here. Nimbarkacharya came here. Nimbarkacharya is Keshava Kashmir, that big Digvijaya. Ramanujacharya is Ananta Brahmana. He participated in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wedding in Navadip. They all came to this, our sampradaya. What is our sampradaya called? Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. The remaining sampradayas came here. Because this one, because of Mandavendra Puri, Ishwara Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have prema. Others, Vaikuntha, is a spiritual word, so it's bona fide. But if it is prema, this one. This one.
Maharaj, just like we are discussing about bona fide, maybe school is bona fide, might student is not bona fide.
Yes, that is true. It is happening. It is happening, practically it's happening. The spiritual master get up very early in the morning, before 4:30 in the morning, he has chanted 25 rounds. The disciples are sleeping. In our tradition, look at our tradition. The servant works the king. It is not the king that works the servant. Is it not? Who works the deity? Who works the deity every morning? Huh? The servant. In our time, we are seeing that the deities are working the servant. It's opposite. So it is true. It's a good point to be made. The Guru is trying, he's reading, but disciples are not reading. The Guru is speaking seriously, speaking, always making himself available for the student, but they are not there. They don't hear, they don't follow. It is happening. Good observation. So, we have mentioned many times that it is not sufficient to have a bona fide guru. We should also become bona fide disciples. It is only then that the process will work, the miracle will take place. Look at 𝐁𝐡𝐤𝐬𝐺𝐢 Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj. Look at Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Look at Narada Muni, see yesterday. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. Because they are bona fide, see the miracle that happened. They got transformed. Narada Muni spoke to many demons. They didn't become devotee like he delivered a very sinful hunter. Narada Muni delivered him, but he didn't deliver the demons he associated with. He associated with so many demons. He didn't change them, but he changed so many people. Why? They are bona fide. So they got transformed. So a disciple should also become bona fide. As we are looking for a bona fide guru, we should also be bona fide disciples. Then there will be transformation. Thank you for that. Yes, Lord.
Going to the question of Parangoban, he said only 𝐸𝐴𝐺 is bona fide. I can tell you out of experience that there are people who go to hear other places and slowly they give up 𝐸𝐴𝐺. Because 𝐸𝐴𝐺 has some rules and regulations, and the other people don't have any fixed rules and regulations. But they make a show, and people get attracted. And this is how the people get deviated from 𝐸𝐴𝐺. And then they completely give up.
Yes. It's a big contamination. Very big contamination. Srila Prabhupada did not want his disciple to go and bring his own God brothers to 𝐸𝐴𝐺. What about those who are not in 𝐸𝐴𝐺? He's a Gaudiya. What about them? We are disobeying Srila Prabhupada. And that disobedience is causing our leaving the movement. It's just a consequence for that.
The offense.
Yes. Disobedience is an offense. Prabhupada said they should not. It's written, it's there in the Lamrita. When Satsarupa Maharaj mentioned, when they suggested Prabhupada, should we go and bring one of your God brothers to here, Prabhupada started to cry. It's there in the Lamrita. Prabhupada cried. If you bring one person here and he says something just different from me, the whole thing will spoil. And we are going to hear Mayavadis. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Why people are going there? Because they want cheap things. 𝐸𝐴𝐺, you have many rules and regulations. Don't do this, don't do this. For there, there's no rules and regulations. I saw in India a big so-called incarnation of God. You're having big, what do you call it? Partner program. And then people are there. He's speaking his nonsense. At the end, the servant brings water. All of you are my disciples. You are initiated. What is the connection between us? What relationship do we have? Okay, you initiated me now, and I go back to my house and I didn't come to you. How will you know me? The devotees are doing that because they wanted cheap things. They don't want rules or regulations. We don't want a person who will look into our activities. No, this is not correct. We don't want that. We want somebody who will not see us, a guru who will not see what we do. We cannot make advancement in that. We are cheating ourselves. So it is very dangerous and it's not approved. Our chariots that we should go to hear. What are they going to teach us? So the Prabhupada gave us the holy name. Is it not complete to make someone a pure devotee? The holy name, Hare Krishna mantra we're chanting. So the Prabhupada gave it to us. Is the holy name not complete? Not a complete system that can give us holy perfection, pure love of Godhead? The 𝐶𝐸𝐴𝐵 of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is complete. It takes us from zero to prema. Is it not complete? A system that if we follow will give us the perfection. Is it not complete? What about Bhagavatam? So many things the Prabhupada gave to us. And a foolish person, I was an unfortunate person is saying that Prabhupada did not give us completely. What is left for Prabhupada to give us? What is it he didn't give to us? What is it he didn't give? That we're going to go and search somewhere. It is our laziness. We cannot search our scriptures completely. So we don't know what Prabhupada has given. Huh? It is not, we should not be bewildered by that because see what is happening. This movement, don't you see how unusual the movement is? It's unusual. How many of us know Sanskrit? How many? Huh? Who knows perfectly the meaning of Hare Krishna mantra we chant? Perfectly. But we are chanting, we are attracted to chant. Is it not unusual? See, you run around a small plant. Important person like you are, PhD holder, you are running around a small plant. 𝐶𝐸𝐴𝐵 Devi. How big is 𝐶𝐸𝐴𝐵 Devi? Banyan trees there are not circumambulating. You are circumambulating a tiny plant. Is it not unusual? But that is making so many devotees to not leave the movement because it's circumambulated 𝐶𝐸𝐴𝐵 Devi. So unusual. But many people will not understand because of our heavy karma. So they will stray away to other places and get lost. But anyway, before they got lost, Prabhupada has given us something, which is already the permanent asset. They will come back after wasting their time. Don't waste their time. Follow this process. You are sure to attain perfection, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki 𝐶𝐸𝐴𝐵 Premanandi. All glory is the Sangha devotees.